Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. Before I get this lesson started, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rakagadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone of whom I learned from. And a shalom to the hopes that taking this truth to the four corners of the earth, bidding the elect of Yahshua to the marriage supper of the Lamb, who is Yahushai. It's your brother Radah. This is like part two of just showing who Esau is as far as him being a PDF. Okay, this is like part two of a series. Sometimes stuff will come up in my algorithm, and when it keeps coming up, I got to start I just start saving the videos to do a report, because what basically is happening, the Most High is exposing the so-called white man and showing that he is, in fact, the nation known as Edom in Scripture, which is also called the border of wickedness, which means they are the wicked nation. The border, whenever you get the word border, that's the beginning of a nation. And Malachi, verses chapter 1, verses 3 and 4, says that Esau is the border of wickedness. So just check out some of this stuff. It's going to be a pretty quick lesson, but it's just a bunch of reports on how bad this particular race of people are sexually.
This guy is Gary Thomas Kesey Jr., and he's the son of the lead pastors at Ohio's Faith Life megachurch, and he himself is a former leader of the megachurch, which was also founded by his parents. Anyways, he is still awaiting trial after being charged with 32 S crimes involving children, young children. Gary is accused of a word that rhymes with grape, gross S imposition, and unlawful S conduct involving multiple victims, all connected to the church community. And all the victims, every single one of them, were minors. Some were as young as 6 years old. Now Gary has pled not guilty. This case first exploded publicly.
So, and this is, to those of you that don't want to criticize and say, it's just a sign of the times. This is prophecy. They are being exposed. Esau shall no longer be able to hide himself. They've always been this way. They were always doing this. It's just they had the power to conceal their transgressions and their wickedness through their pseudoscience, through the law of justice, which is their strength. That's mentioned in the Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2. They're able to write laws and police and oppress the poor righteous man, who is the Hebrew Israelites, that they've reclassified as black, Latino, Mexican, Native American, and they make us look like we're the bad guy. And our people do bad shit. Meanwhile, this specific race of people has a global network that takes billions of dollars to fund and keep hidden of human child trafficking, which goes into child sex, rape, and porn, and human sacrifice. And now all these low-level Edomites are being exposed. We already see what happened with the Epstein files and how that group is being protected. But all these other Edomites, it's coming out. It's just insane how much is happening, bro.
In April of 2025, when he was indicted on 27 counts. Additional charges later pushed.
And this shows you the level of freedom that this race of people has, that they can get away. This dude has multiple accounts all by himself of doing multiple children because of how he looks. They look at him and, he's not scary, when this motherfucker is the predator.
A total of 32, and prosecutors say the allegations span years and involve multiple victims. Yet despite the severity, the trial has now been delayed multiple times. It was originally scheduled for July of 2025. The trial was then later pushed to November, then delayed again into 2026, after defense attorneys argued they needed more time related to discovery and record requests. Meanwhile,
okay, let's get to the next one.
160 criminal counts involving children. I want you to meet Philip Wayne Vaught, who is a self-described quote-unquote Christian MAGA musician who is now facing one of the largest, most disturbing indictments I have seen.
And Renaissance Western Christianity is a doctrine that teaches a English Renaissance Western-minded version of the scriptures, which covers who Esau Edom is in prophecy. It removes the Apocrypha, which are 14 books, and it washes over the Hebraic, the nation of the Hebrew Israelites by making everybody white, by making Yahushai white and changing his name to Jesus, by making Yahweh white and changing his name to Jehovah, by making the angels white and all the Jews white in all the Hollywood movies, everybody looks at the Bible like it's this so-called white man religion, when in fact it's a Hebrew Israelite recording from the other side of the world. And all of these men are being exposed. They have no spirit. This is what they are. This is what they've always been.
In a while. So from this point forward, trigger warning. This is all in Sumner County, Tennessee, and those 160 charges are all tied to alleged child abuse and exploitation. Now,
How the fuck do you develop that many? It's a whole lifestyle, 160.
I'm going to read these charges. These are the actual charges, and they are a bit graphic, so I'll try my best to make them social media safe. He's got 5 counts tied to abuse of a child, which includes aggravated word that rhymes with grape, and soliciting exploitation. There are 10 separate counts accusing him of the word that sounds like grape of a child. Another 15 counts say that he unlawfully penetrated a teen between 13 and 18 while he was in a position of trust and at least 4 years older. Then it moves into the exploitation in images. Prosecutors hit him with 76 counts saying that he used a minor in the production of S material, basically using kids to create CSAM. On top of that, 51 counts say that he was caught with material showing minors in S activity, and 3 more counts accuse him of having more than 100 separate images or files back in 2017. The alleged abuse stretches from 2015 all the way up to January of this year. After what authorities describe as a lengthy investigation, Vaught was arrested and is being held on a $1.5 million bond. And all of this reads, y'all, like prosecutors are dealing with a serial predator, because I think we are, and they have charged him like one. Now, on the court side, here's what's happening now. Today, May 12th, he was in front of a judge for his arraignment. That's where he's formally told that he's charged with and enters a plea. But here's another key date. In July, he'll be back in court.
So we'll stop here. I'm going to continue playing these. I got to pull up a precept, though, okay? We got to get some precepts. We got to get the precepts. Esau shall no longer be able to hide himself. Esau shall no longer be able to hide himself. Jeremiah 49:10. But I have made Esau bare. What's the word bare mean? Let's pull it up in the Edom, B-A-R-E. Naked, uncovered, unclothed. All right? So the camouflage or the illusion of the self-proclaimed white man being the most innocent, the most righteous, the most intelligent, the most beautiful, the most safe, all of those enchantments that came out of Hollywood, from Happy Days and Gilligan's Island, and Leave It to Beaver, golly, Wally, gee, Beaver, all of those painless, adorable, oh, such a nice guy, I want to live next to them, I want a wife that talks to me like that. Those were characters, you guys. You're talking about the Bible that the word calls the border of wickedness. So this is the Most High. In the prophecies, the testimony of Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy. Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai is saying there's coming a time in the earth where I will have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret. See, the Most High is doing this. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. There is no other race of people on planet Earth that has more dirt coming out about what they truly are than the so-called fucking white man. You don't see this with Moab. Moab's a piece of shit. They're fucking they're heathen. They eat stupid shit. They're fucking dumb. They side with Esau in a lot of ways, but they're still heathen. You don't see all kinds of videos coming out on what Moab has been doing. You don't see Ham is a fucking idiot. Ham's a fucking heathen. Ham does dirty, nasty shit. But you don't see all kinds of fucking videos coming out on Ham doing child fucking pornography, child rape, human sex trafficking around the world. You don't see the other nations doing this. You see the so-called fucking white man doing this. He is the focus of this prophecy because he needs to be uncovered, because he's been camouflaged behind this image, this squeaky clean image of Leave It to Beaver. Look, let's watch. What else? Here, we'll do this. Look at this. Let me see. 50s. We'll say 50s TV shows. Look at this. TV shows, programs. Because that's what they were. They were programming you. Programs. Look, let's just images. See? All of these images. These are all fucking Edomites. This is the border of wickedness, right? This is the border of wickedness telling you how amazing they are. Oh, look, we're cowboys. We're the so-called white man. This is one of the best ones. This is one of the biggest ones right here. These people are so innocent. They're so good. They're so lovely. You know, Father knows best. Let me see. Continue. The Danny Thomas Show, the Honeymooners. Just giving you all these images of these adventures of Ozzie and Harriet. You have to understand how powerful these shows were. This was the invention of the television, to tell a vision. What is vision? What does vision mean, you guys? Let's get vision here. It might be a good one. Vision. Oops, Salakia. Vision. All right, vision. Something seen in the imagination or in the supernatural. Present, sight, view, look. Appearance, dream, supernatural sight. Now look at this. To see, the meaning, sense of, sight. Well, what is sight in the Bible? Sight is prophecy. Watch. Let's get the blue letter. Look at this, you guys. You got to understand this, man. Vision. Watch. So look. Boom. Right? In a vision and in a dream. Let's do this. Let's do numbers. Let's try this one. Let's see what the definition of it is. Vision. Look at this. And this is what they called. You don't think they didn't know what they were calling this thing? To television? In the 50s, vision, mode of revelation, a mirror. Okay? There's one I'm looking for. I think it's instruction, bro. It comes into prophecy, vision. Let me see. Salakia. I'm going somewhere with this. Okay? You got to understand that these images of these white men on television shows, that was very craftily thought of. To put this image in your mind that these people are fucking harmless. When in fact, they're the worst. Okay? Let me see. Hold on. Let me see here in the vision. Here, let's try this one. Boom. Here, vision. Let's see. Let me see what. A seer, a prophet, a vision. So you understand it. There's one where King David is saying that he was not, he was obedient to the vision when speaking about what Nathan said about King Solomon. How that King Solomon would be the son of the Most High, that he would be his son, that he would be his God, and that if he transgressed, he would chastise him with the rod and stripes of men. But his mercy would never be taken from him. There's a prophecy, there's a psalm where King David is talking about his son, that he was not going to steer away from the vision. So you got to understand that when Esau used the word television, you have to understand that all these were left-handed productions to tell you what? Look, the Superman. Who's the Superman? Esau. Look at this, Gunsmoke. These are all, there's music involved, and you're staring into the screen, and your brain is going into a beta wave state where all kinds of information can get. Look, what do you see? You see Edomite after fucking Edomite. And that's just this. Let me see images. That's just this, you guys. Look. Fun-loving Ozzie and Harriet. The coolest people, right? Oh, look. Oh, what do you see? Who do you see? And the scriptures say that this man is the wicked, that he is the border of fucking wickedness. But what do you see? He's smiling. He's happy. He's painless. There's no weapons. He's not raping anybody, right? Oh, look at me. I'm so cool. You got to understand how much this did to people. These are magazine covers with television screens. You got movie screens, and what do you have? You have music and sounds, and it's just all these amazing fucking Edomites. This motherfucker right here. I remember my mom used to watch this show all the time. The fucking Love Boat. The captain of the Love Boat. Just the most sweet guy, huh? I guarantee you every single one of these motherfuckers is a pervert. Every single fucking one of them. Every single one of them, you guys. Remember this? Remember Different Strokes? What did he have? He had an Edomite father that was just so loving to his sons, right? And the beautiful white girl. It was these two Hebrew Israelite boys that this white man took in. Oh, and you had Arnold. What you talking about, Willis? You don't think that was not programming you? What was it programming you? It was telling you that the male Edomite man is safe, that he's the provider, that he loves you, he can be your father. Oh, dude, it's just, look at all these guys. Dude, this is all programs. Now, I'm doing this to prove a point. I'm going somewhere with this shit. Now, look.
This is this.
Let's get out of here. Let's do this. Let's go back. So you got to understand. So now you got years and years and years of decades upon fucking decades of Esau telling you how amazing of a guy he is, right? He's the safest guy in the world. He's the nicest guy in the world. Now look what he's doing. Now look what's happening with all of his churches, all of his fucking his law enforcement, all his society. Look what's happening.
This is the most
Look what's happening everywhere.
disturbing arrest that we've had here. He is a backgrounder for ICE, Homeland Security, and federal agencies. So when you're getting your security clearance, this is one of the guys that does your backgrounds.
Well, that one was a Jake.
Which is kind of scary. So we locked him up. And I think if you're going to be, these people get access, they get a high security clearance, right? Because again, for all the ICE agents, Homeland Security agents, and people getting...
So look at this one.
The man who invented breakfast cereal tortured children's genitals, and America made him rich.
Now, what you're about to hear, every single parent deserves to know this.
John Harvey Kellogg ran a medical asylum where he treated masturbation. His cure was pouring acid on girls' clitorises and circumcising boys without anesthesia so they'd remember the pain. This is well documented. He wrote about it proudly. His solution to suppress sexual desire in children was bland processed grains. That is literally why cornflakes exist. His brother took that recipe and made Kellogg's, now worth $20 billion. Today, they hide inflammatory grains and toxic dyes behind talking tigers and toucan birds. Read 40...
And that's a whole nother sliver of this same race of people putting poisons on purpose in all of the foods to make you sick over time, to kill you, and that you become dependent on their pharmaceuticals. That's a whole nother avenue, but we're focusing on the sexual depravity.
Eating yellow 6, all banned in other countries, fed to your children every day. These dyes are linked to...
And as far as that last video, am I saying that Jake doesn't do dumb shit? No, I'm not. What I'm saying is the so-called white man has told the world that he is the top race, that he is the one with the highest IQ, that he is the moral standard for everyone to live up to. He even told the world that God looks like him. That's Job 9:24-27. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked, and he covers the face of the judges. It is a so-called white man that said Jesus looks like him, Yahweh Shai. It's a so-called white man that said the angels look like him. So he said all this stuff about him, and he put this thought in the minds of everyone when the scriptures say something completely different.
Hyperactivity, aggression, and learning issues. The same company that started with child torture now uses cartoons to sell chemical-laden grains that inflame your kid's brain and gut. How do you think your kid's behavior would change if they weren't getting drugged by ultra-processed garbage every morning? Listen, you already know what your kids need. You don't need a corporation that tortured children to tell you what to feed them. I believe every parent has an internal wisdom about their child's needs, but we've all been programmed to trust corporations over our instinct.
Okay, next one.
So here's another story about an ICE supervisor trying to buy with a child. This is Kobe Don Williams, and he was a supervisory detention and deportation officer with ICE. Basically, he was the guy in charge of locking people up. Well, Kobe started messaging someone that he thought was a 13-year-old girl. He talked about specific acts, haggled over how much he would pay, and even bragged that he was a cop. He then drove a government-issued vehicle to a hotel to meet her. When officers moved in, they said that he had his ICE badge on him, a loaded government-issued firearm, alcohol, Viagra, and thousands of dollars in cash on him and in the car. Thankfully, there never was a child, and what he walked into was a sting.
Okay, you see that.
But you would be shocked, Pierce, at some of the names that I have seen that came across the DOJ in emails the DOJ is protecting. And we're talking about people on both sides of the aisle. We're talking about famous people, rich people, people in power, prime ministers, former presidents, etc. Media personnel.
This goes into the upper echelons of the Edomite kingdom. But this is the thing is, you have all these adults in law enforcement that are Edomites that are also not doing anything when it comes to these high-powered Edomites who are doing this shit on film, and yet they're supposed to be the judicial system. They're supposed to be the righteous arm of Esau's kingdom, and they're watching these adults do these things to children, and they're not doing anything about it. This is what's fucking crazy, bro.
That are named in these files. And that's why I say this is going to go down as the greatest cover-up, one of the greatest cover-ups in American history. And I don't believe the girls are actually going to see justice, which is why it's going to be incumbent upon people like Democrat Ro Khanna, Republican Thomas Massie. I'm a Republican myself who's willing to name some of those names in our committee work, on the floor of the House, whatever it takes, because this kind of thing cannot continue to go on. I want to give...
Okay.
Did you know in Chicago in the World's Fair in 1933, the Jewish community organized this event right here to celebrate their 3,000 years?
And this tells you that they're not Jewish, they're Amalekites. They're Amalek, they're the head tribe of Esau, Edom. And this is why they know so much about satanic stuff on the left-hand side, is because that's who they truly are. If they were truly the seed line of Jacob, if they were truly the house of Jacob, and they were doing this in public on television like this, you can best believe that Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, would have struck their ass by now. Because we get spanked right away when we fuck up. Why? Because of the covenant. Judgment comes to the house of God first. Look, that's a precept. Let's get it. Judgment always comes to us first. Judgment starts. It always starts with the house of God. This is true throughout the entire scriptures. Okay, this is the head apostle Peter. God damn it, Slovakia. It's the head apostle Peter. Look, for the time has come that judgment must begin at the house of God, and if it first begin with us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of the Most High? Okay, so we get spanked first because first we're the sons, he is our father, and he deals with us first, plus because of the covenant, then he redeems us, and then he goes into dealing with the heathen nations and Esau. He has reserved judgment for the wicked. He's reserved them for the wicked. The wicked is reserved. The wicked, that's Esau, Edom. The wicked is reserved, meaning they've been held back. Reserved for the day, reserved for judgment. Let me see. On the day, on Yahweh Shabbat, that the wicked is reserved to the day of destruction, they shall be brought forth to the day of wrath. And the day of wrath, the day of destruction, the day of the Lord is Yahweh Shabbat, which is coming up. That's the battle of Armageddon. That's the destruction of America. That's Yahweh Shabbat. And that's also the beaming up of the hopeful elect into the chariots to get the new bodies. That's everything. That's Yahweh Shai on the chariot, destroying everybody. And Esau's been reserved all the way to this day. So before Esau is judged completely on the day of judgment, the Most High is revealing him. The Most High is making him bear. He's bringing an inquisition. There's one more precept. Yeah. Second Esdras. Let me see. Inquisition. I will bring Inquisition. I will bring Inquisition. Second Esdras. I think that's it. And I will begin to make. Yep. Okay, so let's go back one. And it said, behold, the days come. The voice that's speaking to Esdras. And it happened that when I had heard it, I stood up upon my feet and hearkened, and behold, there was a voice that spake. Because he's fasting. He's like in his 7th or 14th day of a fast when this is happening, if I'm correct. Behold, there was a voice that spake, and the sound of it was like the sound of many waters. And it said, verse 18, behold, the days come that I will begin to draw nigh and to visit them that dwell upon the earth. 19, and will begin to make inquisition of them, what they be that have hurt unjustly with their unrighteousness, and when the affliction of Zion shall be fulfilled. So the affliction of Zion goes into the nation, goes into the elect being redeemed out of it, right? And the people who are hurting them are who? The Edomites and the congregation or the confederacy of nations mentioned in Psalms 83. You see how this, once you can understand this, verse 20, and when the world that shall begin to vanish away, somebody Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. The word world talks about the age, when the age of the so-called white man that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished, then will I show these tokens. The book shall be opened before the firmament. And that's what you're seeing now. Every time you guys get on the internet, on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok, and you hear one of us brothers breaking down the precepts, that's what you are seeing. You're seeing these books opened up in the firmament. Why? Because the signal for the cable, for the Wi-Fi, it's up in the sky where the satellites are at. That's what that means. This is the unicorn. The book shall be opened before the firmament, and they shall see all together. Who's the they? You guys listening, the hopefully elect listening to this, who've been granted the ear to understand the truth. Okay, so let's go. I'm going to go back to the precept, the original precept. I have made Esau bare. I have made Esau bare. Why is he making him bare? Because he's bringing inquisition, because the time of the affliction of Zion is coming to an end, and now it's time for Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua to judge the wicked and the nations. But I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. And that goes into what we are seeing.
106 is the most.
The man who invented.
So here's another.
Did you know in
all of this? Now we're able to explain who the man of sin is.
Chicago and the World's
The
Fair
so-called fucking white man.
in 1933, the Jewish community organized this event right here.
And again, these are the Amalekites. The other one of the other crimes that they have committed that's written against them in prophecy is called the controversy of Zion. When they did the biggest national identity theft in human history with the Balfour Declaration, the 1948 State of Israel. While we were in our zombie state, while we were still asleep in the grave, while we were still being punished, they snuck in and acted like they were the Southern Kingdom and told the world that they are the Jews. And they're not.
Celebrate their 3,000 years of history.
150,000 Jews gather at Soldier Field in Chicago to celebrate 3,000 years of Jewish history
And this is an enchantment because the rest of the world doesn't understand. They don't understand the precepts. They don't know how to go into the scriptures and read prophecy. We can, but the world can't. So these motherfuckers on the left-hand side are given instruction by Satan, who's being told what to do by Yahushai. Right? And Satan is telling them how to perfectly mimic everything just enough because the rest of the world doesn't have any understanding. They don't know how to, the heathen can't go into the scriptures and open up the mysteries, you guys. That's reserved for the holy souls mentioned in Wisdom of Solomon, which are the elect men of Yasharallah, the Hebrew Israelites. And we were still asleep during this time. It's brilliant once you see how, what Yahweh did, the way he did it, and the fact that he woke us up and now we were asleep while these motherfuckers were lying and bullshitting, and then we wake up and now we're breaking down everything Esau's done perfectly using the precepts of understanding. Kal halal lahaim la Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai, man.
By worshiping a fire-breathing statue of Moloch and feeding it children, which we can only hope were not real. The event was called the Romance of a People. It was organized by the Zionist...
Romance going into Rome, and America being the final leg of the Roman Empire, which are the Edomites.
Organization of America. One of the big speakers at the event was none other than Chaim Weizmann, first president of Israel, and the guy who, alongside Lionel Walter Rothschild, authored the Balfour Declaration, which was the agreement that dragged the U.S. into World War I in exchange for the British stealing Palestine from Ottoman Turkey and allowing Jews to settle there.
Not Jews. They're the Amalekites. They are the head tribe of Esau Edom, like Judah, the so-called blacks in America, are the head tribe of the 12 tribes of Israel. Just like everything that we do has weight behind it and influences the rest of the earth, everything the Amalekites do has weight behind it and influences the earth.
Prevents Moloch worship and child sacrifice rituals as an expression of Jewish history.
These things saith the first and the last, which was dead and is alive. And I know the blasphemy of them
See, that's so crazy that they did this in public, and yet the public was so ignorant. Where were the so-called white people who were Christians? How come they couldn't say or didn't say anything back then? Because they didn't have the fucking wisdom and understanding to do so, just like they don't today. This, once you start, it's like, wow. Yet, how is it that a bunch of so-called niggers, blacks, Mexicans, and Native Americans, how is it that we're going into the scriptures and we're supernaturally breaking down everything Esau, Edom has been doing, and we've never been to any of their colleges, and we've never learned in any of their theological fucking seminaries? Because prophecy said that we would get the breath, Ezekiel 37, and we would stand upon our feet, and our bones would come to bone, and sinew upon sinew, and flesh would cover us, and then the breath would come into us. What's that breath? That's the Holy Spirit, wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and then we would be awake and standing as a living army, bro. And Yahushua is giving us understanding, bro. The angels are being sent to us. They're giving us skill. They're making us excellent in the wisdom, knowledge, understanding of this truth. And those that hear us, when they listen to our lessons online, when they're sneaking in and listening to us through their devices, they get scared because they know we're telling the truth.
say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee.
Again, guys, this is why Paul says in Galatians 3:28-29 that there is neither Jew nor Gentile.
And see, and then he pulls out that precept, which has nothing to do with what he's saying. It goes back into the book of Maccabees that they took out of the Apocrypha, and it's talking about the Hellenized Hebrew Israelites that were made to be Greeks during that time before Rome, before the Roman Empire. See, these Edomites have absolutely no comprehension on what's about to happen or what's been going on. This dude is an Edomite. He doesn't even understand that he's related to the people that he's talking about, and that they've pulled a wool over his eyes to keep all the spoils of war. That's not what that precept even means. And when did the word Greek become a representation for all the other, what? So there's 18 nations total, right? You got Esau, Edom, the wicked. You got Jacob, Israel, the righteous. And then you got the 16 nations in between. When did Greece, which is just Esau, Edom, when did they become, what precept? Show me the precept in the Bible that says that the word Greek, the term Greek or Greece, would be an all-inclusive representation of all the global heathen. What precept is that? You see how crazy that sounds? So Greeks can represent Moabites? And the word, there's no Greek, there is now, therefore no difference between Jew or Gentile or Greek. You know what I'm saying? The word Greek, dude, they got to understand that word Gentile goes into Hellenized Jews, Hellenized Southern Kingdom. And it's also just talking about the Southern Kingdom because the Northern Kingdom was already over here in South America, Central America, and the Americas, because Second Esdras records their migration, they're scattering over here. You have to have the Apocrypha to understand, and you have to have the understanding to understand this. I'm gonna let him keep on talking.
Nor slave nor free, nor male nor female. Why? Because we are all one in Christ. Let's wake up.
Not what that's talking about.
Have nothing to do with the
Look,
food.
when they keep showing you a white boy angel, and then the dude that he's destroying is the dark-skinned fucking half moose man. But it's all colorism with these fuckers, man.
Deeds of darkness, but rather expose them.
He's some fucking Edomite, an Edomite with long hair. And the law tells you can't have long hair. People might be saying you're being critical. No, dude. All this shit that's just passed off as it's normal is fucking wicked. And it shows the ignorance, right? And how people don't consider the heritage of the Israelites, which is the law, statutes, and commandments. What is a precept? If they speak not according concerning to the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, It is because there is no light in them. And what is the word light? Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. It's a literal, there's a literal definition to what light means. But what's the wisdom that's specifying? The wisdom found in the scriptures. You learn by the precepts of understanding. And only his sheep, Yahweh Shai's sheep, not Jesus, can hear his voice. And that word voice goes into doctrine. That's what that means, man.
Why are we hearing about this in America where it happened from 60 Minutes Australia, y'all?
What did go on at Zara?
So twisted and so dark.
Jeffrey Epstein's mansion of horrors in the middle.
So here you have a mansion in the middle of nowhere where they were doing what? All kinds of wickedness. You don't even know what's underneath. You don't even know how big. There might be all that dirt you see around that house. There might be a massive underground fucking laboratory down there. We can only imagine the amount of human sacrifice taking place, the rapes, the torture. But look, are black men able to do this? Are so-called black men, are so-called Latino men able to do this? Do we do stupid shit? You fucking damn right we do. Do we have the capacity globally to pull this type of shit off? No, we don't. And the one race that does is doing that. I have made Esau bare. He shall no longer be able to hide himself.
Some of the most heinous things that anyone could imagine.
Place so evil.
No, the white man is the most righteous and most intelligent and the most safest of all men. Remember all the movies? Let's do 60s TV shows. Yeah, look, remember? Oh, so nice. Oh, remember this dude? Captain Kirk got to fuck everybody and fucking, he got to fuck all the aliens. The white man, right? Because he gets and that's what they did during the rulership. He put his dick in everything. But in reality, I mean, that's what he was really doing. Look at this motherfucker right here. This bitch. Dopey Gillis. Remember these motherfuckers? Look, and look, this is a grown man. The Don Knotts dude over, and that little boy, look how they're sitting. Oh, it's just innocent. But they're not even fucking related. They're actors. And they do that kind of shit all the time. Look, all three of them hooked up. You're looking too much into it. No, I'm fucking not. Dude, there's photos. What's the girl? Good Ship Lollipop. What's that little bitch's name? Shirley Temple. Watch this shit. No, I'll go to TikTok. TikTok might have it. Shirley Temple. Look.
How weird is this?
Look.
Hold on. Fast forward to the lap dance scene. Oh my god, I was joking.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy. So hold on.
Look.
And now they're all carrying her.
Oh no.
It's a bunch of fucking Edomite men with a little, and you can best believe, these little kids, they're brought up, they're innocent, but they're prepped. You have to understand that too. Esau has a left-handed science, a left-handed wisdom, where they're probing and they're already prepped, they're already stimulating these kids to be, so that they're used to it but they don't consider the illuministic mindset, the left-handed mindset. Her age, she's considered an adult. She's already considered an adult in their belief system. This is also why they do this shit.
Oh Jesus.
Look, where's her real mom and dad at?
She's all coked up.
It's supposed to bro, how weird.
Shirley later revealed
Look, bro.
disturbing details about the process used to commence filming. According to Shirley, the preschool children were separated from their parents, and if anyone acted up, they would be placed in a black box equipped with a block of ice. The door to the black box would be closed.
Look, we got the kids sucking on stuff. You gotta understand, this is Amalek on the left-hand side with left-handed power directing, being told on how to film shit over and over and over again to go all throughout the world, so that when you're watching it, you don't even look at it like it's wicked. And then when you step back and think about it, you're like, Who the fuck, what adult thought this shit up, bro? And why would you think that that was appropriate to put on TV? Think about how crazy this shit is,
And the
dude.
child would be left to freeze in total darkness.
They were black and they were on big rubber.
And that's her now grown up. And so now she's claiming to be, you know, you can best believe she's playing the role of controlled opposition. Because she never goes into the truth of what they really believe spiritually. She just makes it sound like it's men, you know, and then women. No, bro, she's more than likely, honestly, her mom and dad are probably some super high-powered couple, or at least her dad is, and he banged a temple prostitute during an orgy, and she came out. All those actresses, all those actors, all the pop stars, that's how they're born. They're born like that. They're not normal. They're not just normal kids that wake up and say, you know what, one day I'm going to go to Hollywood and become famous. That's not how that shit works, bro. The CIA is behind all this shit.
Wheels and had a little narrow window way up high. Well, when we misbehaved, they had 2 sound boxes on our set. One of them had a big cake of ice in it. And when any of us misbehaved, we were sent one by one into the black box to cool off and think about it in the dark with the door closed.
Oh yeah, that's normal for a Hollywood set.
Now you just...
And then you got, and these Jakes, him acting like that, you can best believe that dude is highly educated, that he's very articulate, and I bet you anything he's in the Black Boule or he's a Freemason. He's not just a random Jake that's stupid that's on the set. He's extremely intelligent, but he's also left-handed as fuck, and that's the role he's got to play. I guarantee it. Every time they showed you some jigaboo ass Judite on television, he was what's the word? Initiated on the left-hand side as far as they would allow them to be initiated in order for him to even be in that position. I'm telling you guys, bro, that's what's up, bro.
Now you just watch. I went to the market to get some beef. And the beef so tough, and I couldn't get enough. I paid $5 for a great big hog, and the hog so fat, and I couldn't get back.
See, look at this shit, bro. What's going on with that, bro?
Hello.
What's your name?
Bonnie Doolin.
Go on, don't give me that. You don't belong to those folks. What's your real name? You like peppermint candy?
Mm-hmm.
Walk down to the corner.
I just grabbed her by the wrist. You like peppermint candy?
And I'll buy you some. No, you stay here.
Anyways, let's get back to fucking, I forgot my
This
point.
is bad, y'all.
The man, just want to get up here.
What are we hearing about?
Bet you didn't see this. I sure wish I didn't. I want to be very, very clear.
It's a fucking grown-ass man doing this shit.
That is mental illness. There's...
You're a pedophile, motherfucker.
It doesn't make you a pedophile for fucking children?
Nah, because she's not a children. She's an adolescent.
She's a 14-year-old
That doesn't make me
child.
a pedophile, motherfucker.
This is starting to get long, but this video goes into them experimenting on children. Kentler believed these men would be more emotionally invested because of their interest in children. He also claimed sexual relationships with children could be beneficial if they were consensual. How does a child consent with an adult? The men receive state foster care payments. So this tells you that the fucking government, that other adults in this system were aware of this. They were basically being paid to abuse little boys. This went on for 30 years until the early 2000s. Many boys experience SA, PTSD, manipulation, and exploitation. It was later discovered that Kentler himself had SA'd one boy who he fostered. He died in 2008 and was never prosecuted. The Kentler experiment. They placed vulnerable boys in a foster home with pedo men. The reason they believed pedos would be attentive fathers, which is, it's all bullshit. They already knew that was bullshit, so they made it sound like they were doing an experiment. It's just this is who Esau is, bro. This is the race of people that spread white Jesus all over the earth. This is the race of people that told you we are 3/5 of a human. And this is the race of people that told the world they are the top moral character when it comes to humanity. And this is why this scripture says what it says. This is why it says what it says, bro. I have made Esau bare because he had to. Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai put the mark of Cain on Cain, which came back in the form of Esau, Edom, fail. It's a supernatural covering so that people would not want to kill Esau when they if by chance when they would see him doing what he's doing, so that he could grow and become the thing that he is today. And now Yahweh Shai is going to be sent to destroy him. So, but I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. So the Most High put the mark of Cain, and you have to understand reincarnation with what I just said. You have to understand that Esau is the reincarnation of Cain, and the mark of Cain is not only not having melanin in your skin, it is a supernatural protection from judgment. Why? Not permanent protection, temporarily. Why? So because he has reserved the wicked for the day of judgment. And when you understand that sequence of precepts, you understand this is why no one looks at the so-called white race as scary or dangerous, or they make excuses. They humanize them every time they see them. But dude, there's too much.
This was the man who
it's too much.
So here's
why? Because his time of rulership is up. It's time for the affliction of Zion to come to completion, right? Which is then what? Yahushua being put back on the throne of King David, and Esau being brought down to sit on the dirt, to sit in the dust, to go in the dust and go into darkness.
Did you know?
Why are we here?
Well, here's one they finally got right. Corey Hickey out of Georgia. So this man was charged with some horrible crimes on a child, a 7-year-old child at that, a girl.
I'm going to show you very, very disturbing images from the Epstein files. I debated for a...
It's always the ones you most expect.
You think that we'll corrupt your kids if our agenda goes unchecked? Funny, just this once, you're correct.
See, so what? I guarantee you he's a fucking Amalekite. Who writes songs like this? Listen, you guys.
We'll convert your children. Happens bit by bit, quietly and subtly, and you will barely notice.
Wait for it.
We're coming for them. We're coming for your children.
Number 6. Going dark.
So all those dudes in that video, whether it was AR or not, I don't know. Every single fucking one of them is a convicted PDF. Look at this. This is Ted Cruz. Look what the little girl just did. See, this proves these little kids. Look.
They're going
Watch your hands. Watch your hands. What is she doing? She's doing a triple hand sign. She's communicating however it is that they communicate, right? She's probably 8 or 9 years old. That little girl has had sex with grown men already. She's already familiar, right? She knows Ted Cruz is coming at her. She probably ain't feeling it, so she puts up a signal. How does she know to do that? Because they teach them at a young age. She's communicating, but there's no way to prove it, but that is a triple hand 6, right? Now watch what Ted, look what this fucking Christian acting white male government official does. He ain't listening to that shit, right? Look. Look. Oh, give me that. Look. Oh, yeah.
Good job.
That little girl has been. Look how she look.
Good job. Good job. Good job. Good job.
Look at the fucking hand signal, though. Look, how does she know to do that? They understand what that means. Oh, no. Girls don't flick guys off with triple 6 hand signals, and then he goes in forcefully. Look.
Good job. Good job. Good job.
Look at that fucker, dude. So you see it. I have made Esau bare, man. He shall no longer be able to hide himself. These people are the border of wickedness. I pray that this lesson is edifying. I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakakadash, and double honors to the elders and the apostles, the great millstone of whom I learned from. It's your brother Radash. Shalom.